In the East End, a lot of the houses in between have disappeared in post-war years, giving place to high-rise flats. And as the old slum tenements came down, a lot of the community feeling disappeared, but it survives in places like this, the oldest eel and pie shop in London, in Tower Bridge Road. It's busy, it's packed from Monday to Saturday, and that spirit of the East End still survives here. The menu, too, is unchanged, very simple, traditional one, pie, parsley sauce, mashed potatoes, and stewed eels.
24, please. Okay.
This is the thick green liquor that Harry Joyce has been garnishing his famous pies with all his working life. The pies are made of meat, baked in a roaring coal oven, served with mashed potato. Equally popular are the bowls of stewed eels, which are also doused with the sauce, made parsimoniously with dried parsley and flour.
3 times.
You can sit down and enjoy it in a pew or take it home for the family, but not for much longer. The Dickensian shop where Harry was born is due for demolition, an improvement which will no doubt please the town planners, but dismay the local eel and pie patrons.
104, dear, please.
Very seldom see any eel and pie shops in new properties. This is a bad thing for the East End because eel and pies is the cheapest meal in London, really.
In less polluted times, Thames eels were cheap, a valuable part of the daily diet.
I should say eels, well, must be the most nutrimental food there is.
Although you can get jellied eels in certain West End restaurants, they're at their best when eaten standing up. And most of them are taken in big enamel bowls to be sold in markets, at dog tracks, street stalls, all over London. Thanks, Tubby. If jellied eels are the traditional food of the East End, which they are, then the traditional way to eat them is with pepper and vinegar and in the open air. And one of the best places is down here in Aldgate at Tubby Isaac's stall. Tubby, somebody told me once that stewed eels were aphrodisiac. Any truth in that?
Well, I wouldn't know so much about stewed eels, but jellied eels, they've been known to be an aphrodisiac. This was one of the things that they blamed the high population in the East End of London for. And I mention the East End of London in particular because, in my view, the East End of London is London. And one of our cries used to be when we was flogging our wares in the old days was, "Everyone's a baby, come and have a basin." This used to be a regular call of ours. This was a cheap means of feeding a family, but I'm afraid they've gone from those days to some in the region of about £1 a pound.
Do you see a time ever coming, Tubby, when jellied eels are going to be as expensive as oysters are now?
Well, jellied eels, in my view, from my younger days, are expensive. But I think people will eat jellied eels as long as they've got a bob or two in their pocket. They're going to eat jellied eels because we've had to call it a day when the price has risen so much where we couldn't ask the public to pay these prices, and I've had to close down and supplement it with these shellfish to keep us going. The price has gone up, but they want jellied eels and we're giving them jellied eels. But of course they've got to be the best, and this is what they come from far and wide for.
I read somewhere the other day that a jellied eel merchant died recently and left £42,000.
Oh, well, I'll leave more than that when I die.
My grandparents' jellied eel store started in the First World War. It was well known outside at Mile End, outside the Plough Public House there. And the whole community, all the East End people used to go and have their drink and come to the stall, and they used to have fun, and all the kids and the coaches used to pull up on the way back from Southend. You know, they had a day out, and it brings them back from the seaside to the seaside in the East End. And it used to be lovely.
The old East End was changing even before the war. Slum tenements were giving way to new housing blocks. And then the Blitz obliterated whole neighbourhoods overnight. And it wasn't only people who died. An eccentric and colourful way of life died with them. The muffin men, the hot potato cellars, the roasted chestnut barrows. A lot of what is left is ripe for demolition, and although small pockets of the past survive in the most unlikely places, nowadays you have to hunt them out. Lovett Lane will soon be gone, and the ancient fish market, Billingsgate, is due for redevelopment. When most of London's fish either came out of the Thames or was brought by boat upriver, then the water's edge was a logical place to have a fish market. But eels come mostly from abroad now, and the whitebait is frozen. Some historians think there's been a market at Billingsgate for nearly 1,000 years. Certainly, in the 13th century, you could buy a dozen best soles for threepence.
Come on, move, hello, move.
Today, Billingsgate is an international market selling exotic fish from China and Pakistan alongside the homely haddock. Smoked, it's always been a particularly London delicacy. In Limehouse, there used to be 30 or 40 smoke holes, but frowned on by the authorities, few have survived. Eric Ruffell is among the last of the old fishmongers still smoking in the old way. He buys his haddock fresh from Billingsgate.
It's been done in the small backyard of the average fish shop of East End of London right away since before the turn of the century. The East Londoner had the market of the fish coming into London, and they were able to put their hands onto the oak dust to cure it, owing to the various commercial businesses that were going on, the wood, the furniture businesses and that, and the proximity of the river coming out to the East End of London rather than carting stuff across London to West London. South London and East London has always been the home of the smoked haddock.
There's nothing elaborate about Mr. Ruffell's smoke hole, but the way in which he cures haddocks down here in the East End transforms them into a West End luxury. A lot of so-called smoked haddock is chemically dyed to ape the buttery colour that smoke achieves naturally. And the natural way to eat it?
Oh, the traditional way is no doubt bringing it to the boil, having it on a plate with a little bit of butter and a crust of bread to dip into the water that it was cooked in. When we were lads, Father had the haddock, Mother had her meal while it was cooking because there wasn't enough to go round, and we were able to have the crust of bread in the gravy in which it was cooked in.